When Raw goes off, we come on. Welcome to the Raw Recap Show. I am Thomas Montalto, the OG Fig Kid.
Oh yeah, and I am Macho Man J-Bone. Yeah, what's up, everybody? For the first Raw recap.
How's it going, J-Bone?
Man, it's going great. We watch some wrestling on a Monday night. Can't beat it.
You know, I gotta admit, another very solid episode of Raw. You know, it's been like 3 weeks in a row now, and I feel like they're starting to right the ship.
I have to agree. Some good things. And I don't know where we want to begin, but I do like the storytelling that's happening. They're interweaving a lot of stuff. It's not just hey, wrestler A, wrestler. It's not like you're going right over there and however point it's like I'm grabbing from my wrestlers to try to pick who's going to be in the match tonight. There's some storytelling happening.
There's absolutely storytelling. It's a nice change going on, and I'm gonna kick it right off with how much I love this version of Riddle. Like
Yeah.
he's getting serious in the ring, and he kicked ass tonight. He didn't win the match, but man, they're putting him over, and he's looking like amazing. I thought he was the star of the show tonight.
He absolutely was, and there was a lot of little things he did right tonight. One thing that I really enjoyed, especially in the main event, was just his ability to sell.
Yeah, you don't see that much anymore.
And his ability not to sell, because there was a little mistake I saw by AJ. Okay, here's just a tiny little thing, right, and where he meant to stomp and he completely missed.
I saw that.
But
I knew exactly what you were talking about.
But Riddle didn't sell it.
Yep.
Most people would be like, "Oh, he didn't." Yep. He's like, "Well, you missed me." So I thought that was very well done. He's getting the little pieces together, and maybe about to make a world title run here in the next few months.
Yeah,
we'll see. Potentially.
Just want to say hi to the call up in the Titantron. They're watching. They said, "Hey,
what up, Kenny?"
So, yeah, I mean, Riddle was great. Let's take it back to the Battle Royal. You knew just going in he was going to win it, but what the hell is that 24/7 shit going on in the middle of the Battle Royal? Like, I'm so tired of that title. It's such a joke. It's time to get rid of it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely run its course. I don't think it needs to be, especially in a serious moment like that where the stakes are high. You know what I mean? That's what they're there for. You're starting off the show. I agree. I have to agree. I know it's kind of boring for everybody, but I kind of have to agree with you there. It's just not good. Not good.
And now the other thing is, when you looked at the Battle Royal and you saw who was in the ring, it was just like, this show is really lacking some major stars. Like, there wasn't many standout people, I thought, and of who would actually win. So that's the other thing that was a telltale sign that Riddle was going to win.
Right. Yeah. I knew it was going to come down to Damian Priest and Riddle.
Yeah.
And while we're on that, where has Damian Priest been the last couple of weeks? He just kind of just shows up, and I'm glad. I'm glad he did. But
I mean, at least he made it to the end, because he's one of the bright spots of Raw's future right now. He's I like seeing him in the end. And if Riddle wasn't going to win, he would have been the other person I would have minded seeing. But the WWE kind of manipulated us tonight, because they kind of had us rooting for Randy Orton to make it just because we were rooting for Riddle. And I don't want to see Randy Orton in a triple threat match. I don't really want to see Drew McIntyre either. He had the stipulation he wasn't going to challenge again for the title, and all of a sudden he's back in it. So I don't like that either. And if I just go back to what they did with Cody on AEW. Like, he said he wouldn't challenge for the title, and he's not. And now all of a sudden Drew is finding workarounds. I don't really like that right now.
I'm not a fan. I wish they would have maybe added Priest into the match somehow. Like, look, maybe you have in the Battle Royal, maybe they both get eliminated at the ssame time, or do the Bret Hart Lex Luger flip over the top ropes at the same time, and then you add both of them, and you get Damian Priest in there, because this match is about newcomers, and it's like Drew's had his shot, It's time. Yeah. It's time to move on from Drew.
Yeah, the way they set up the match so far, it was looking great. With last week with Morrison and Riddle and I'm drawing a blank on who the other person was. Morrison, Riddle, and
Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Yeah.
Sorry, and I love Ricochet too. I loved what they were setting up.
Mhm.
So I really hope they don't put Drew over. But let's move on from that. Um, I really like the strap match tonight with Striker and Elias. What'd you think of
Uh,
that?
I think I could have done without it, honestly. Um, good. It's good little gimmick match, but I honestly I could have. This is the type of match that was as I was watching it. This is the type of match that you could say this is why we don't need 3 hours of Raw. Um,
Wow, you're really being critical of that match.
yeah, it's not nothing with the guys in particular. I haven't bought in on the storyline. It's the whole Riker, how he was a musician, and now he just like this almost, I don't know, like zoned out zombie
Okay.
guy. I don't know. It's a little strange for me, honestly.
I don't
So
know. Kenny Kenny said it was different for Raw. It was needed, so he agrees with me.
well. Hey, Papa Bear knows, also knows. I don't know. I just, like I said, I could have done without it, but it was a good match. It just wasn't. I guess I guess I just haven't followed that storyline a little bit too closely. Maybe that's what it is. But
Yeah, I
they
mean,
haven't
I don't
hooked
know.
me. So
I thought the two guys were better than they've been. I've the
yeah.
build up to this match wasn't great, but I like the Riker thing with R-Truth. When R-Truth, that's where the comedy fit in. When he said,
Mhm.
I can see you." I
Yeah.
thought that was entertaining.
Yeah.
R-Truth is still entertaining in the right spot, but not in the middle of a battle royal. Like, come on.
No.
Come
No.
on, WWE. Let's respect our wrestling just a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I actually forgot that this match was happening this week until that promo, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That I said I think this is happening, or I couldn't remember if it was this week or next week. I remember they had talked about it last week, so but see, that kind of shows you, for me, it's like they just didn't build it up that well. My opinion on that. So
yeah, I mean, I agree about the build up, but I thought the match paid off. I did.
no.
Yeah. So okay. So let's go on. Like at this point, I'm just like, whatever you're doing with Alexa Bliss, and I don't hate it, but let's just see what it's going to be already. It feels so drawn out and tortured by now. Like either let's do something with it or move on.
Yeah. I heard. I'm not sure where I heard this from. Some one of the podcasts. I can't remember, but a lot of people say, well, in the '90s, we believed that there was a roaming dead guy that had these magical powers, and then we believed in the Fiend who has these magical powers, right? Why can't we automatically believe in Alexa?
I don't have a problem with believing with Alexa, but I just feel like it's drawn out. Like let's see. Like I feel like it's leading to something. Let's get to that.
well, yeah,
I don't hate the character at all. I really don't. Yeah.
yeah. For me, it was like it's like we saw what Alexa was, whereas I guess with Fiend and Undertaker, uh, Fiend to me is a brand new character for Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
And we didn't see what their leads up to. This just hasn't. There's not enough meat on the bone to be for me to really buy in what's happening there. I think but I think to your point, yes. Let's get to where we need to be. Let's quit with the hypnotizing and the whatnot. I'm gonna say something too. I'm also willing to see what's happened with Nikki Cross now.
See,
After
I'm
this week.
enjoying that. I love her in that role. Like
Yeah.
I
Yes.
know I don't know how much love it's really getting out there, but it's refreshing. It's entertaining. It reminds me of Molly Holly.
Yes. I
So
was I was a little on the fence about it last week, just like, okay, a little confused about it, but it made a little bit more sense this week. I don't like the pairing though of this version of Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss.
yeah, that
However,
is it is kind of weird, but I don't think that's anything that's here to stay. I just think it's
no,
going on for now.
yeah,
Kenny agrees. Kenny says it's grown on him. So
yeah. So I don't know. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, you're to your point. Yeah, let's do something with Alexa.
yeah, that's exactly what I want to see. I don't mind it. I would like it, but it just feels like we need the next step. Like they're building to something and they're just keeping us waiting.
What if something I just kind of tossed my kind of crossed my mind.
Okay.
What if they're setting up Nikki Cross to be Lily in some fashion?
I mean, I
To be
could
like a
see it.
full size version of Lily,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
it's her version of Lily. They used to be friends, when not, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I don't
Yeah.
know. Just maybe it's a Toy Story come to life type
Yeah.
deal. I
But
don't know.
Kenny just said it's ending after SummerSlam with the draft. So I wonder if he means Alexa and Nikki pairing or like just the teaming of them. And come on, like Shayna Baszler could be so good. I would love to see
Yeah.
her in a feud with Rhea Ripley
Right.
or Charlotte. Like, can we stop with the garbage with her? Like,
Yes.
believe it. Like, I don't mind them feuding with Alexa, but like she's looking like a fool, and she's not a fool. Stop booking her like that.
Right. I agree. I've always loved Shayna Baszler. I was very surprised she didn't beat Becky Lynch at WrestleMania last year.
Yeah, I agree. She should have.
She should have, and it kind of like brought her, winding down a little bit, dropped her down a peg. Ever since then,
A couple of pegs. Let's be honest.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I agree. She should be, featured, as more as a badass, as an
Oh,
MMA
100%.
fighter, like she
100%.
is. Almost like similar to how Jake Hager is in a little bit in AEW. Not quite as intense or whatever, but I think she could be way better in a way better role, and they need it on Raw.
Yeah.
They don't have. And that's one thing on the women's division. They don't have a definite like okay, babies and heels, right?
Yeah.
And we'll get and like that. We saw that with that 6-woman tag match. It was very confusing for me because you had Natty and Tamina who are supposed to be baby faces pairing with Charlotte,
For Charlotte, yeah.
who's supposed to be a heel.
But are they
I,
supposed to be baby faces?
I
Because
don't know.
they've been
It's
feuding with Mandy and Dana, who are supposedly the faces. So maybe they are
it's
supposed
really
to be heel. How are
it's
we supposed to know
confusing,
when there's no fans there really cheering?
right? Yeah,
So
it's very very confusing, and that might be part of it too. They're maybe trying to keep everybody neutral once the fans come back, and then they can push their agenda. I don't know, and then maybe if the fans allow basically the fans to pick. All right, excuse me, Rhea's going to be our heel, and Charlotte's going to be our babyface. That might be
yeah,
what they're doing.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
I see it the other way. I like the way Charlotte, and I actually love the fact that they're bringing up how they're the second generation stars, and I like that whole part of it. Charlotte was throwing that around tonight, saying he does other people. I guess they are booking him as the heel, kind of saying they deserve it because they're second
It's very,
generation.
very, very 50-50 booking going on there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't really care for Mandy and Dana as a team, but sorry, I just don't.
They don't really have any other women's tag teams, so what else are they going to do? That's a problem.
Let's keep firing them.
Yeah.
You have the Iconics, you break them up, and then you fire them. That's just genius.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about that.
Yeah.
Or else I'll go off on another rant. But no, I do love the Charlotte and Rhea feud right now. Like I'm actually in the beginning it was kind of but I'm buying into it.
I'm not.
You're not.
No, I just
really
like I said. I mean, well, for one thing, I don't like how they did the finish at the pay-per-view. It was just a meh. Okay. I don't like how they're booking Rhea at all. I think they could do a way better job. Again, make her, they're doing it, making her seem like a badass, but they're just doing this. Is she a baby? Is she a heel? We don't. And to me, it's the same thing with Charlotte. It's like they don't know which way they want to go with it.
Yeah. Well, Kenny just made an excellent point. He said, just end the women's tag team for now and just leave them on NXT. And I really think that's the best advice, and they should take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no room for it on the main roster right now. They don't have the tag teams. They don't have the women. But see, okay, I've actually liked the way they've booked Rhea. She's seemed more of a badass lately, and
yeah,
I don't know. Just my opinion. And
yeah.
I can't stand Charlotte. She plays the role so good. I can't stand her because I'm not supposed to be able to stand her.
Right.
And I think
Right.
she's doing that well. That's why I don't think she's supposed to be cheered. She
Uh,
plays the arrogant role that I almost believe she's not arrogant.
well, but see, I agree to you. I agree with you on that point. But they also do things where tonight, where okay, she's supposed to be where we have Natty and Tamina, who defeated Shayna and Naya, who were definitely heels. But now they're not.
Yeah.
Now they're heels again. It's confusing.
Yeah.
It's too much
I think
storytelling
Natalia
on
is
that
kind of
there.
like the big show of face heel, face heel, face heel.
Yeah,
Like you just never know
yeah,
what she's supposed to be
yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
So
absolutely. But yeah, I thought it was. But I thought we're talking about I guess the what we don't like right now. But I thought it was like I said really well done. I one match I think in my opinion match of the night Ricochet versus Morrison was
yeah,
fantastic.
it was an amazing match. That spot at the end with the double count out, has you hoping for a rematch. But
Right.
yeah, they showed what they could do in that ring and why they both deserve pushes.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking like, how do you which way is it going to go? You didn't really know because you're in a position where you're again like you said you're pushing both superstars here. One loss here. I hate to say I'm not only wins and losses don't matter, but when we're looking at this kind of rat race, as you will, how are they going to go? It was interesting to see what was going to happen. I love the way they did with the count out and that
Yep.
spot with Ricochet was amazing. I think I think I like his new kind of gear with the black
Yep.
jeans. It doesn't look so cartoonish in my opinion. It shows me he's ready to fight and he's ready to roll. Kind of got a little cockiness about him,
Yes.
which I like.
It works. It works for him big time.
Yeah. It's not too much, but it's just subtle. So that
Right.
subtle cockiness is just right, and I think that's something Ricochet definitely needed. Is just a little bit of that air of cockiness. He's been doing a little bit on Twitter here recently too, and I think it's good. I think it's been paying off for him.
Yeah. Kenny said the outside spot that Ricochet did, wow, which was, everybody's going to be talking about that. But
Yeah,
again, you go back, you call that match of the night, and it probably was, but the triple threat was also
triple threat was great. Yeah, you're right.
that's a
Yeah,
very solid, we had a couple of really good matches tonight, which we're
hmm
not really used to on Raw lately. So
right. Yeah,
it's nice to see real wrestling again, which I felt like,
yes,
they're giving us more of that and they're telling better stories for a change.
yes.
I don't really know if we're missing anything else. I feel like,
One thing I want to mention too, the almost experiment,
okay.
it's over with for
Oh,
me.
I agree. I mean, it was
Almost
over. It was over at WrestleMania for me.
right.
I'm sorry, but I didn't enjoy it. I never
He
did.
as he was beating up the Viking Raiders, he had a smile on his face, but it wasn't like a cocky smile. It was like, here, I'm having fun. It was not very a good look for a big man. He should have this snarl like just like I just destroyed these two big huge men, and it just was off putting for me. And I think it could have been better. So I think that whole experiment's done with. I just
I mean,
I'm
honestly,
ready.
WWE just doesn't do well with the big men, with those giants, and I knew he was going to be a miss. And
Yeah,
just like all their other big men have just been misses because they don't book them right. And this guy is a tag team champion, so eventually he's not going to be the one to lose. But what's he going to go on to do? Like a guy like that just needs to be the same thing I always said with Braun Strowman. He needed to be more of an attraction. Less is more with these type of guys. Don't put them in a role where they're there all the time.
right.
Make them a special attraction so that people actually want to see them and they don't get bored with them.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It just I don't know. That was one thing. One little note too I had is yeah, almost needs to go bye bye. So
Yeah, I don't disagree. Now the other thing we talked about Riddle a little bit, but I just want to say like he comes out at the end limping and his foot's hurt,
mhm.
and then he's throwing kicks with the foot. That was the one thing I didn't
Yeah,
love.
right. I'm
Yeah.
I'm there with you on that. But
If he was going to throw a kick with it, that should have been what cost him the match.
yeah,
Him
right,
being so tough and like, oh, I'm going to use it anyway, but it's a mistake and he gets hurt.
right.
So,
Because it's not
but
like he had a cast on his foot or something.
yeah, but the more serious role of him in the ring is just working. Like he's
Mhm.
you know, he's doing it so well. He is the future of this company if they could get him to stick around. I don't know what he's thinking, if he loves it, but he's great in the ring.
Yeah,
So.
he's. I think he's fantastic. There's just very like I said, very little subtle things in his game that's very strong right now. That I can definitely see. You know, he could be, WWE champion. I think I do like the goofiness a little bit. I
Oh
think
yeah, it definitely works a little bit, but
I,
like, you know,
I think they
don't
at
do it
times they
as
need to
much.
tone it down. Right. They don't need it. They think he needs to tone it down at some points, but
And
like
he's toning it down when he's supposed to be serious in the ring, which I'm okay with.
right,
You know,
exactly.
and just to go back to Almost for a second, Kenny said if Mark Henry was still there, I would have him train Almost, which is 100%. I agree with him, and which is why it hurt WWE to let Mark Henry go.
Mark Henry's a
Like,
big loss.
he's got
Eh,
such a brain. Like, he's so into wrestling. He knows the product and he knows
mm,
wrestling so well. Like that was, you know, they've let three guys with great minds for wrestling walk away now between Big Show, Christian, and Mark Henry.
yeah,
That's a huge asset for
right.
AEW, but we're not here about that tonight. We're here to review Raw. So, or else we'll be
Yes.
here all night long.
All night,
But
all night.
and it looks like you're ready for bed already.
I'm getting there, man. I got to be up 5
All
a.m.
right, so okay, so before we go, let's make it every week. Let's rate the episode of Raw on a 1 to
Okay.
5 star rating. You know, you could give it a half or whatever. What would you rate tonight's Raw?
I'm gonna say 3.2.
I was gonna say 3.5. It's a very solid episode, much improved over what we've seen the last few weeks. It's been telling stories. We've been seeing guys get shots they haven't get. So just keep in this direction with Raw. I actually think for me, Raw has passed SmackDown the last few weeks. I'm enjoying Raw better than SmackDown.
Yes, yep. I do have to say I watched. I actually watched SmackDown this afternoon. Didn't watch it live. It's hard for me to watch it on Fridays. But yeah, SmackDown was okay, but the problem with SmackDown is they don't have the talent depth as they do on Raw because they've cut everybody.
I mean, I think Raw's lacking the depth right now, but hopefully they start building some new stars with the pushes with
Well,
Ricochet.
yeah,
And I'd love to see Morrison get a huge push. And Kenny actually said 3.5 stars, so he agreed with me. People out there, we have people watching us. Let us know how many stars you thought it was. Like, what did you
yeah,
think of tonight's show?
absolutely.
We'll read your comments if you tell us.
All right, tell us,
So
let
we'll
us
be
know.
here every Monday night right after Raw. When Raw goes off, we'll be on.
Monday Night Raw.
So, all right, guys, that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. J-Bone, tell them where they can follow you.
Oh man, go follow me on Instagram at Coming Down the Aisle, on Twitter at down_aisle, and you can find me right here, Turnbuckle Raw Recap, every Monday. So this will be a kind of a weekly thing we didn't do. I'm just very excited to be a part of this. So
It's
thank
very
you
fun,
to
man.
Chad Sneed and to you.
I'm glad to have you with me, man. You're
Yes.
It's fun. It's definitely fun. Make sure you follow the Turnbuckle Tavern on Instagram at Turnbuckle Tavern, on Twitter at TBuckle Tavern. And every Monday is the Turnbuckle Debate Show. Every Wednesday is the Sessions, my show. And Thursday, the flagship show, the Turnbuckle Tavern, the AEW Dynamite Review, and so much more. We'll see you next week, guys.
Peace.